The number one reason traders fail. Hi, it's Charlie giving you Saturday's video. I hope you're very well. Well, what is it then? What's the number one reason that traders fail? And we'll all come up with some reasons, but the reality is it's lack of discipline. Okay, it's a lack of discipline. That's the number one reason that traders fail. Now, there's a number of things that people do with discipline, and I'll give you some examples right now. There was one, literally, I heard about a trader in London just a week or so ago who, for example, here, who had shorted the dollar yen as the dollar yen started this monster run up. But no discipline there, because no stop loss, no risk management in that regard. So just held on to the trade and went more and more and more underwater, and probably is still in this trade now. I've just heard about it this week. Just I got wind. I don't know who this person is. Haven't got a clue. But it's someone in London, and that's a lack of a plan. That's lack of discipline, lack of a risk management plan. And yet we see this sort of thing go on around the world all of the time. For example, let's put yourself into a position here and say, okay, so you've got a trader. Let's say this trade, a trader like this. There would have been thousands of people who would have done exactly the same thing all around the world on this move, because that's what happens when markets move strong. People all around the world see a market go up and think, oh, that can't go up any further. Look how much that's gone. I'm going to short it. And it's a natural human reaction. And so you short it, and then it just goes against you, and either you add to the position, so you start adding to your loser, trying to average down, or all traders will just sit on it and they'll just carry on waiting and praying that it's going to come back for them. So that's one of the biggest things that goes on around the world, is a lack of discipline overall, but it comes in many guises. And that one, with this trader, who knows what happens in the end, if the dollar yen carries on going higher, or whether it does roll over, and then that trader will breathe a sigh of relief. And what so often will happen is that by the time it rolls over, they exit their position maybe at break even, or maybe for a small loss. Very often they won't wait for it to get into profit, even if it does roll back down, because it's just been too stressful. So then you've got that whole stress element of your trading, because you're trading in a way which is just so stressful. But it's because people want to be right, isn't it? Can you imagine? Why do people not have a stop loss at all? It's because they don't want to accept being wrong on a trade. So they want to be right, and we all want to be right. Of course, that's just part of our natural flaws as human beings. But yeah, so what they do is want to be right, and then of course they get themselves stuck, and then they get really stressed. Stress isn't good for your body. High levels of cortisol running through your veins. So none of that is very good for you. It never ceases to amaze me that traders want to be in so many moves, because they want to feel like they're doing something. And yet, it's the plodders who just keep on going, chipping away month on month, who just plod away month on month, and except when they're wrong, they have stop losses in place, and they merrily just trade and accept that they're only going to be right a certain percentage of the time, and whatever their strategy is, and they're far better off that way. Now, one other thing that I might as well put under this discipline, and I think it's really good timing, is that we had non-farm payrolls yesterday, and non-farm payrolls was a bit of a non-event in many regards. The figures came in roughly in line with estimations, and so there wasn't a lot that went on from a volatility perspective. And I was sitting there in my trading room, and so we didn't do anything. There wasn't anything to do, and so but you imagine the amount of people around the world want excitement. I mean, I want to see volatility on a day like that. So we look forward to seeing a bit of volatility on that day. But can you imagine the amount of people who would have been trying to trade, any of the little moves that were going on there, because that's what they crave. They crave to be doing something and have that excitement. But the problem is you imagine, if I bring the pen back up, a market moves up and then just a little bit, and so you jump in, oh great, here it goes, sort of thing, but you've got no plan. Again, it comes back to not having any plan, and then it just starts to retrace just a little bit, and because you've got no plan, you're thinking, oh no, this is not what I really wanted it to do, so you jump out, take a loss. Then it starts to turn back up again. Oh no, I was right all along. Right, jump back in again. And this is so typical of what will go on all around the world. Jump back in again, and then, oh no, it's coming back off. Oh, and then they come back out. Oh, it's definitely going to go down now. Right, I'm going to short it. Start shorting it, then it comes back up again. And all the market is doing is going sideways. And then you will have traders all around the world who are getting absolutely annihilated because they've got no trading plan. They're literally just looking at the price as it moves and thinking, all right, it's going to break now, it's going to go, and with no discernible plan, and they get completely chopped up. And they get to the end of the day and they're exhausted and they've just lost a load of money, and then they're kicking themselves because of that. So the number one piece of advice for today's video is, please, and I have to say this, and I know that most of our viewers here will have discipline, but you'll just be amazed the amount of people around the world who don't have a trading plan, and therefore they come into all these sorts of categories of people that short when a market's firing up like that. And there's nothing wrong if you've got a strategy that is calling for a short and you just get stopped out. Nothing wrong with that. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about people just trading based on effectively emotions and on gut feel with no discernible plan and a complete lack of discipline. You'll be amazed how much it goes on. Anyway, there you go. That's Saturday's thoughts. If anyone's got anything they want to add about discipline, because we've all been there. The reason I can call on this, because I've been that trader. I've been that trader in my formative, when I was starting trading, who would chase every move that was out there. I'm sure many of us have been. And so we can all draw on memories from all this sort of stuff. So most of us have been there. If you've got a story about yourself or someone else you know or someone you've heard about with a lack of discipline, by all means, pop it into the comments box. Have a great weekend. Do give us a thumbs up and a follow if you aren't currently subscribed, and you will receive more videos as they come out over the coming weeks.